Hello everybody, it's Chichuki back with another Chichuki Views Let's Play episode. Tonight on the program we are playing Kamikaze Lassplanes. I played this at PAX East. I really enjoyed it. It was one of my games of the show. Could be a game of the year candidate, you never know. It's got airplanes, it's got anime girls, it's got love, it's got romance, it's got drama. It's got all that in spades. Anyway, we're going to put an hour on the clock. Make sure I have my sound on. Anyway. Let's do it. Normal. Half graphic novel, half shoot 'em up. Unless your true potential or your Lassplane special ability to conquer any challenge.
Do you remember the day we met, Walter? I still remember it vividly. The air was crisp and chilly when I saw Sky Fortress for the first time.
Sounds like a Sonic level. This game is also coming out on the Switch. They don't know when yet. So we're playing on Steam. Because why not? I want to thank Inky Dreams for the code. Thank you so much, guys. Presents! Osni, you can shoot the, you can this is cool. This is like Smash Brothers. Where you can, shoot the credits. Why did I blank on credits? Voice actors. Sid Snap. Rusha.va, Japanese. I'm playing it in English. It also is English and Japanese. Because I want to be able to understand it. Watchtowers. The Veil draws its energy from the many watchtowers powered by the light. Powered by the light! Some power-ups bounce from the screen borders. Choose the right moment.
Perhaps you were right. Perhaps peaceful times have made us blind. Perhaps we were living on stolen time. But even if that was the case, I just wish we had more. Everything feels like a dream, Walter. But I hope you were real.
I thought you were dead. I was. It's a story of multiple endings. When the fate drone shows up on the screen, it indicates the important choice you just made. Pick your answers wisely. They shape the outcome of the story. The first day of the rest of your lives starts now. It's been a week since I heard those words at my deployment. Sky Fortress. I spent my whole life working hard to get here, but now it feels unreal. The jewel in the crown of our kingdom, a military base in the blue sky, seems straight out of a fairy tale. It shines among the clouds, fueled by the infinite power of the light. A technological novelty for some, a divine miracle for others. My perspective is different, but I don't find that hard to believe at all. Service in such an elite military base is an ultimate honor for any soldier. But the fortress is much more than that. It's a symbol of our freedom, levitating mid-air as if even the shackles of gravity couldn't keep it down. 100 years ago, when the kingdom of Valestia faced destruction, mysterious crystals discovered on our small island changed its fate. Their infinite pure energy fueled our machinery, modernized the economy, and saved our country from downfall. I don't know how the ore works exactly. It's the egghead's job. For most of us, it might as well be magic. The light changed everything. The morning sun bathes the officers' quarters in a golden glow as my mind wanders. Behind a large window, there's a view of all shades of blue. Azure water reflects the sunlight. I rock in my chair, watching the clouds lazily passing by. Tall watchtowers loom on the horizon, pulsing with the light of crystals that power them. Sometimes, when the sky is clear, I think I can see a gleam of the veil on the horizon. It reminds me of the price we all have to pay.
Really, you?
A vibrant, melodic voice interrupts my thoughts. Although quiet, it startles me like a gunshot. I abruptly sit up, nearly falling down together with my chair. I instantly raise my head, meeting the gaze of a girl standing in the doorway. Well, hello there. Is it? In the dim light of the corridor, her face is hidden in half shade. She stands in the doorway hesitantly, as if waiting for permission to come in. Although her body is short and petite, her chest sticks out, manifesting the dormant force inside her. The goggles on her head only partially tame short purple hair that seems alive. She isn't wearing the official uniform of Air Force units, but I recognize the symbol on her shoulder, which slowly stirs my memory. Her big doe eyes sparkle with violet in the sunlight as she looks at me. Where have I seen her face before? It seems too familiar, like it belongs to a person I should already know. It occurs to me that I have never been next to someone so beautiful in my life. So we're Walter. My gaze must be intense. It instantly makes her embarrassed. She averts her eyes, pretending that the ceiling is the most fascinating thing in the room.
Sorry!
I didn't mean it like that. I mean, are you Walter? They told me my pilot was supposed to be here. I'm Alba. I know. I'm ashamed I didn't recognize her at once. Maybe because I was imagining someone more. I don't know who, actually. I've never seen a Lassplane before, so I didn't know what to expect. Their identities are top secret. We don't even know how many there are. The attendees of this training program are elite soldiers who answer only to the king. I'm about to slap my forehead, but my last shred of dignity makes me stand up instead. Alba Trosse? I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you at first. They told us you'd be coming much later this week.
You know?
Yeah, I know. They changed my assignment out of the blue. I've heard so much about this place, about you. I hope it's not a problem. I can come by later. No, not at all. A range of excuse me. A range of emotions flashes on her face so quickly I can hardly follow. I immediately straighten my uniform. Wait a second, she heard about me? When I found out an actual Lassplane will be my training partner, I couldn't believe it. No greater honor could ever befall a pilot. I was told the king himself chooses the pilots for his Lassplanes. Part of me thought it was a mistake until the very end. Why would the king choose someone like me, a street rat from the capital? Hey, it's Aladdin. And yet, she's here. Don't mind the noise in the background. I don't know what's going on. She came. Alba Trosse is standing in the door to my quarters. Long years of training led me to this moment, to this place. To meeting a Lassplane I'll fly together with, side by side, leading her wings. Is this how she imagined me, or did she expect someone else, like I did? She's still standing in the doorway, looking at me with wariness. I wish I was better prepared. I hold my head up, stick my chest out, and smile widely to compensate. Is she disappointed? The order may instruct her to trust me, but military drill won't force her heart. I approach her slowly, carefully, as if she was a weary animal, ready to escape. You only have one chance to make a good first impression, right? The clatter of my footsteps echoes in the quiet, empty quarters. Heavy boots stomp on the floor with little dignity. I clear my throat. It's nice to finally meet you, Alba. I'm Walter, your pilot. I stretch out my hand toward her, smiling sincerely. My mother always told me my smile's my greatest asset, yet I feel it doesn't impress her much. She nods at me, officially like a soldier, before she stretches her hand out too. I take it, trying to look normal. What did I expect? For her to look like a plane? Well, definitely not this. Alright. Her hand seems so tiny in mine, soft, smooth skin as if she's never worked a physically demanding job. I can't believe she's the one with such a great and destructive power. Lassplanes were supposed to be angels of destruction, yet the first one I meet seems to be the most fragile thing in the world. I was going to say room. Alba not only looks like a regular girl, she's nothing like other soldiers in the base. We shake hands like businessmen. She squeezes my hand twice as hard as necessary, as if trying to prove something. Perhaps she saw her reflection in my eyes. Perhaps she knows how I view her. Perhaps she wants to show me I'm wrong. Her hand may be tiny, but I notice an imperious gleam in her eyes. I bet she could punch me if I deserved it. Sock it to me, baby. So, we stand next to each other in silence until I feel silly. What should you say in such a situation? Hi, I'm Walter. Looks like I'm one hell of a pilot since you've been assigned to me. By the way, I heard you can turn into a plane. Are cars on the are cars on the table too? Yeah, seems about right. How long have you been in the fortress? I see your bag behind you. Oh, not long at all. I just got here. I dropped by, talked to HQ, and decided to find you first. They tried to stop me from leaving, but I couldn't help myself. It's so beautiful here. HQ love their protocols. Can't blame them. It is a top secret base of the kingdom after all. Good thing that I'm a top secret soldier of the kingdom then. Point taken. I suppose Lassplanes have more privileges than us regular grunts. Aren't you like the best pilot in the kingdom?
I think.
Doesn't sound like a regular grunt to me. And your quarters look nothing like regular either. When you put it that way. I bet they haven't assigned you quarters yet since you just arrived.
Actually,
I have my quarters assigned, thank you. It's these, actually. I stupidly look at her for a moment, wondering if she misunderstood something. The quarters we're standing in are common, but they're for men. There aren't any co-educational bedrooms in Sky Fortress. So what is she talking about? These? They're fast, but they might have made a mistake. These are male officers' quarters. They look pretty much the same, so I understand the confusion. I'll be sure to help you figure out your living arrangements when we get to headquarters. Alba doesn't move when I move toward the exit. With hands on her hips, she looks at me with a strange smile. Her confident gaze makes me freeze. She looks so sure there's no mistake. But it'd mean...
you know?
There's no need. I saw these quarters during my flight. I really like your window. I asked to be assigned here, and they agreed. Huh? It's now a female Lassplane's quarters. Can you believe it? If there were flies at that, if there were flies at the altitude of the fortress, one would surely fly into my gaping mouth. She can't be serious. These are my quarters. I'm a decorated officer. There's no way HQ would give my quarters away just like that. But I'll be sure to help you figure out your new living arrangements with headquarters. Pfft. And to think I've just been pondering how pitiful she looks. Under her apparent weariness and figure lies quite a temper, and I'm not sure if I should unleash it. I mean, if that's what you... Which bed is yours? Oh, she wants to be with me! I guess it'd be easier if I take yours. I don't want to offend anyone. What about offending me? The girl has got some nerve, but at the same time she acts unaware of it. I sigh, thinking back to all the days I spent on the bed with a diary, spilling my soul on paper. Dude, it was perfect. So close to the night lamp and the desk that I could stay up longer than my companions, not disturbing anyone with the main light. At the same time, it was the furthest place from the door, so nobody would go past me in the morning. And the window? Alba's right. It's magnificent. Too bad. I liked it. I wordlessly bid the window goodbye before opening my mouth to speak. The one by the window?
Awesome!
Ah, the best one. Great! I watch Alba pick up a bag twice as big as her and fling it over her shoulder without much effort. I would help her, but for some reason, I feel she wouldn't want that. She passes me in the doorway, and I move aside, partially smitten by how direct she is, partially mad about losing a place to sleep. I shouldn't be surprised. Lassplanes are the most valuable units in our army. Each of them is worth at least a battalion of great soldiers. In addition, or above all, they answer directly to the king. Headquarters would probably rearrange half of the base for her if she asked for it. Even though I understand it well, I mourn my bed. I can't help it. I liked it. My whole life, I've attached great importance to my digs. I served on many bases, but I meticulously took care of my bunk bed in each one. I sigh again, this time more discreetly. I slowly follow her lead, approaching the window in the view I was focused on when she entered. The beauty of the outside puts her at ease. Or maybe it's taking over other people's territory that gives her a confidence boost. You just met her, you don't know if she's a jerk or not. She sticks to the window and presses her nose against the glass. The view is fabulous. You can see the... Are they watchtowers? There are so many of them. I bet they're illuminated at night. It must be pretty. A little. The light that powers them shines in a pale blue glow. At night, it's like northern lights. Northern lights? Haven't you heard of them? They're like a light show in the sky at night, but only in some parts of the world. I read about them in a book once. It sounds magical. I wish I could see them one day. Do you think there's a place on our island where they're visible? Not as far as I know. Pity. But... Walter, you can see the veil from here. I come closer to the window and look at the horizon, squinting. Alba must have better eyes. Sometimes I think I can see the glow of the faraway barrier, but not today. The floating watchtowers keep the barrier up around our island. The previous generation still remembers the day it was set, when the king surrounded our island with a protective field, separating us from the rest of the world. Our people see the light as a symbol of renewal and freedom, but it incited greed and hatred in others. Remind me to ask the infirmary for glasses. How come you're a pilot if you have a sight defect? It sounds dangerous. Maybe we'll fly closer one day so you can see it. It was a joke. Oh, a poor one. I love the Veil. Have you seen it up close? A few times, only on duty. I am not one of the worshippers who make pilgrimages to the Veil, but I'm sure travel agencies make a fortune on spectacular flights along the barrier.
Excuse me?
Hey, I would pay. I think the Veil is gorgeous. My mom believes there's a divine power hidden in it. I wouldn't call it divine. The power comes from the light. As long as the light works, the Veil will stand. As far as we know, the light energy renews itself.
No way.
So you're calling my mom a liar? What? Oh, no! I'm so sorry, Miss Trosse. I didn't mean to. Now that's a proper joke. Well, aw, you. I don't mind calling the Veil divine. It has kept us safe and sound from the outside world for so long. Divine or not, it is our first line of defense, but we shouldn't assume it'll always keep us safe. We must be ready, us soldiers. Ready for the day when it may change. Peace has made us a little too comfortable in our bubble. I feel like many people have forgotten what the world was like 100 years ago. Oh, remind us, Grandpa. Oh, man, she's a little sassy thing. What was it like back then? Hey, now! I'm just saying, we're the next line of defense. We should always be ready for war. You talk like a poster child for the army, Walter, like the one from propaganda posters. If all else fails, our mighty soldiers shall protect the kingdom of Celestia. We need to be ready for the worst. The peace has made our children weak. Poster child? What does that even mean? Do you actually believe that? Believe what? Well, you're a decorated soldier. Is that what you've been motivating you? Is that what's been motivating you all this time? Serving the kingdom as a proud warrior? Well. Oh. I open my mouth, but no sound comes out. I should have an answer ready, the answer everyone expects. The truth is, the words have been ingrained in me my whole life, thrown at me when I was still a cadet, committed to the army. My father always told me to move my wants and needs aside, and give priority to the country. The old man loved our island, and brought me up in love for it, too, but with time, I began to notice things he remained blind to. Cracks on the beautiful image of our kingdom he so stubbornly believed in. The pompous words, as if taken out of propaganda leaflets thrown down from planes, echo in my head to this day, but I can't utter them with confidence. I can't put my soul in them. None of us actually knows how resilient the Veil is, or what long-term plans the king has. What's going on abroad? It doesn't matter. It does to me. I'm just saying, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm always prepared for the worst, but if we don't believe in our purpose here, then who will? You're so pessimistic. Do you hate flowers too? I don't mind the violet ones, thank you for asking. But I'm trying to be realistic. There are no guarantees in this world. We're in Sky Fortress for a reason. The Lassplane project is also here for a reason, isn't it? You're the elite force that can protect the kingdom from the evils of this world. She doesn't look away, but I suddenly see she's embarrassed. She's blushing, her cheeks burning in the shade of cherry blossoms, while her lips are pursed into a thin line of unease. Only now do I notice that her confident smile hides a seed of fear. It lurks deep in her purple irises, like a distant dark force, slipping its tendrils into reality. There's some deep writing here. Although I should expect it, I'm surprised. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Alba seems to be a great contradiction. On one side, there's a fragile girl in front of me, questioning her skills, seemingly lighter than the bag she brought. Yet the same fragility has a power hidden inside, a power capable of destroying this whole base with everyone inside. Okay, her bag is already on my bed. In just one step, she took hold of my bedroom. I'm not going to argue. The veil may be reminding me of the other side of the coin we were given by fate. But right now, I don't need to convince her to abandon the feeling of stability it gives her. But hey, let's stop debating the hypotheticals. I'm not the only one with the ability to put problems off. Alba nods vigorously. A smile returns to her face. It suits her, although I prefer she didn't throw me out of my own bedroom with such glee. This is your first day in Sky Fortress, right? You've got to celebrate. How about a tour around the base? I thought you'd never ask. She couldn't hide the excitement in her eyes, even if she wanted to. Sky Fortress is breathtaking. I'm not surprised that mere thought of sightseeing cheers her up. When I got here a week ago, I had the same reaction. A sparkle in her eye suddenly joins the impish smile. I've already learned it's not a good sign. Oh, and don't worry about the quarters. You don't have to pack right away. There'll be plenty of time after the tour. Oh, don't kick me out. Thanks. I'll take care of it later. Sky Fortress awaits. We leave the quarters and head to the main plaza. Above us, there's only the sky, rarely marked by white trails of passing planes. The plaza is nearly empty at this time of day, although it's usually filled with crowds. It's the main communication hub of the base, connecting all important places. Sky Fortress resembles a beautiful town out of a picture, but I'd describe it more as a perfectly functioning machine. Everyone knows what they need to do at any time of the day. Nobody wanders aimlessly, well, except for us. Despite the empty plaza, you can feel the base bustling with life. Chatter comes from afar, and an appetizing smell fills the air. It's hard to read this white a little bit on the skin color, just a little bit. It's coming from the kitchen where a quartermaster is preparing dinner. We visit a green park, its high trees providing blissful shade on hot days. It was ensured that nobody in the fortress would miss the ground, left far below. They say that when designing the base, the king gathered experts from mountain regions who were used to living at such a height. My reading comprehension is not great tonight. So we have alleys between the trees and flowers, pollinated in some complicated ways. The quartermaster even has a small garden where he tries to grow fruits and vegetables. I show it to Alba from afar, because I know if someone caught me trying to get inside, I'd be the main course for dinner. The quartermaster is very serious about 3 yellow tomatoes growing there. The soil in Sky Fortress isn't too fertile, even though it was brought from the island. Leaving the park, we naturally return to the plaza. When I first got here, I learned that if I ever get lost, I should keep walking. It's not an exaggeration. All roads do lead to the plaza. Flowers climb up some of the buildings as if trying to get higher, as high as possible despite the altitude and thin air. A trolley crosses the sky lazily, traveling from the eastern to the western part of the base. I like this place, and I can see that Trosse likes it too. I admit, her presence distracts me. Whoa! Every day I was told the last plane assigned to me would be more than just my coworker. We must become one in battle, an extension of each other. Years of my training, nay, of my life, boiled down to this moment, to meeting this other person. It's so surreal to finally meet her. I guess I didn't believe it would actually happen until it did. How can I stay calm while giving a tour of the most important person in the base?
Possible.
I heard many stories about Sky Fortress, but I never imagined it would be so beautiful up here. The air is so fresh and crisp, I can almost taste it. I could get used to it. It's truly one of a kind. I've been to many places and trust me, nothing compares to this. But I bet you've seen more things in life than anyone here. Oh, really? Why? We don't really know much about the Lassplane project. You're also the first Lassplane I've ever seen. Hell, your entire life is a mystery to me. I could ask you 1,000 questions and would never get bored with it. Like, I know the Lassplane headquarters location is top secret, even among our own, but... She smirks with amusement.
You know?
Yeah, it's absolutely top secret. Only a king knows the exact coordinates. But when I look into your pretty eyes, dear pilot, my heart melts. I feel I should tell you all about it. I mean, we just met, but... Oh, you know I didn't mean it like that. Cut the sarcasm. Her laughter echoes in the room we're touring. It's light, chipper, and girlish. No matter how much I want to, I can't see a killing machine in this young girl. I poke her with my elbow, trying to stop her laughing. She pokes me back, and I move away just to be safe, doing my best to stay serious. Who knows? Maybe if I hit her rib, she'll turn into a plane in the middle of the base. I can already imagine the questions from furious HQ officers. Walter! You were supposed to coordinate with the last plane we assigned to you. We're disappointed with your unprofessional attitude. I imagine that her life, however hidden in the fog of mystery, was significantly different from a regular soldier's path like mine. The people we pass notice us and nod with recognition. Some of them even salute with respect. But I can see I'm not the one attracting attention. I'm not surprised she was embarrassed. For my comrades, it's also their first time seeing a Lassplane in person. They look at her with shock and fascination, as if she wasn't a fellow soldier like them, but a walking legend. Which, admittedly, she kinda is. If the light represents our freedom and Sky Fortress our power, then Alba is a symbol of hope. She shows that whatever happens, powerful Lassplanes are ready to repel the evil lurking behind the veil. I was stationed in many outposts, not only Lassplane's base. I've seen many corners of our beautiful kingdom, but nothing as fabulous as this. Sky Fortress has some breathtaking views, especially when the sun is just above the horizon. I've heard that people complain about the poor climate here, but I don't mind. Besides, I'll take a mountain hike over a beach resort. Okay, I think I'm the opposite. I would take a beach over a mountain. I mean, I can understand them. We live on an island. I miss the warmth. It's colder here, and at the same time, the sun can burn you to a crisp. Sometimes, when you run, it's harder to breathe because of the altitude. I'll take your invitation to a beach resort then. I'll make sure to pass it along once I get one. But I love it here. I'm glad to hear that. We're gonna stay here for a while, and I'll make sure you feel at home. Even though you just stole my bed. You mean my bed? You mean my bed? I'm sure none of these people would mind if I took theirs, Walter. They'd feel honored if I did. HQ would definitely assign you something nice, my dear pilot. Maybe they'll even give you a ticket to a beach resort. Losing my bedroom still hurts. I suppose it's important you have a good night's sleep before our first mission. This reminds me. I should go and talk to headquarters before they throw me out. I was supposed to get back to them like an hour ago. What? Get out of here! I wouldn't want to get a Lassplane in trouble. I'll take my stuff from the quarters in the meantime, I guess. How kind of you. Thank you for the tour, my pilot. Meet me later? You haven't shared the location of the canteen with me yet. I take my meal planning very seriously, soldier. My apologies, Miss Trosse. I'll make sure your meal is served on time. I laugh. Neither of us is serious. Maybe Alba is the first Lassplane in Sky Fortress, and I'm the best pilot in the base, but we don't pay attention to it now. I feel comfortable with her, even though we just met. It's as if I've known her for ages. We share the responsibility on our shoulders, yet this is the last thing we want to talk about. We return to the plaza together, and I show her the way to the HQ offices. Then I return to her quarters. It takes me 15 minutes to collect my possessions from the brutally confiscated quarters. My new room is similar to the last one, but the most comfortable bed is already taken and its owner isn't eager to switch. I'm trying to make peace with the horrible loss. Waiting for Alba, I can't help but circle the quarters, peeking out at the corridor from time to time to see if she's approaching. I've been feeling a surge of new energy since she came. A mail drone already delivered me a confirmation from headquarters. This is really happening. I can imagine our test flight. When will it be? In a few days? The longer I think about it, the harder it is to stay put. When will she come back? I have so many questions for her. What does her transformation look like? What's it like to control the light as a regular mortal? I feel like my head is going to explode. Why is she taking so long? Is she already in trouble for wandering around? The last thing I want is to inconvenience her. Hesitating for a long while, I finally head for the door with a grand plan to find Trosse. I'll pretend I just want to discuss the details of our test flight, now with the official permission from headquarters. I tighten my grip on the piece of paper, unconsciously crumpling it more. Admittedly, it can wait until dinner. It's not urgent or important, but I left my doubt unanswered and just go ahead. I think I know Sky Fortress in and out, all its attractions and possible hiding spots, and yet Trosse is nowhere to be found. Not at headquarters, not in her quarters, and not in the canteen. Wandering around Sky Fortress like a ghost, I slowly lose confidence. Only when I step out on the officer's quarters balcony to get some air do I notice familiar violet hair down in the distance. Alba! She's sitting on the edge of a cliff in the middle of a green glade in Sky Fortress's only park. It's far from barriers, away from alleys and the safe area. No wonder I couldn't find her. She's hidden from sight if you're looking from the park level. Sitting on a park bench. Looking around, I curse under my breath. I need to retrace my steps and go all the way around to reach the park. On the other hand, I lean over the barrier out of pure, unrestrained curiosity. It's not very high, but I wouldn't risk jumping. A decorative metal lattice attached to the wall catches my eye. Attentively cultivated flowers climb up its cold rods. It looks a bit like a ladder, risky, but fortune favors the brave. Take the shortcut down. I climb the balcony's railing, grabbing at the lattice. I tug a few times, checking its durability. It seems stable. Carefully, I rest my boot on the metal support and, more boldly, put my body weight on the construction. Pleased with the shortcut that will save me at least 10 minutes of an unnecessary walk, I slowly climb down. Time after time, rung after rung, I move my boots down the impromptu ladder, trying not to trample the flowers. When my face gets close to pink buds, I look at them with delight. They resemble roses in bloom, craving sunlight. A sweet scent hits my nostrils, like a smell of spring lingering in the air. I take a deep breath, enjoying the aroma and the beauty of the moment. A split second later, it's as if my nostrils caught on fire. Tears are coming from my eyes, blurring the world around me into shades of green, pink, and blue. Oh man, do I have hay fever? My throat closes, making me choke on the air. I try to breathe in, but only more of the hellish aroma enters my lungs. Fighting for my life, I force myself to continue down the lattice. Slowly, carefully, step by step. Oh man, am I having an allergic reaction to the flowers? But then my self-control gives in to scratchy claws of pollen. Ah! My boot slips on wet leaves, entangling the last rung. The world swirls around me, and I can only see the blue sky and green grass. The green my face is getting dangerously close to.
Possible.
Walter! I stretch my hands at the last moment, breaking the fall. As soon as I move away from the poisonous flower, my vision clears and my senses return to normal. I tell myself nothing happened. The fall wasn't painful, and I made it virtually to the bottom. Only when I notice Alba's frightened face nearby do I regret not falling from the 6th floor. Bright red, I stand up and brush the grass off my pants, which are already stained green. Oh man, I got grass stains?
Excuse me?
Oh dear, are you okay? What was that about? I didn't see you coming, and now you're falling from the sky? I'm good, and I climbed down just fine. The grass is slippery, that's all. Alright, but please don't do that again. I don't want you to get hurt. Can I join you? She moves away to make room for me on the grass. I sit down on the ground next to her. I never came to this part of the park as I didn't see the need for going outside the fencing. I must admit the glade is breathtaking, though. A sweet smell of flowers lingers in the air, their colorful buds poking through the green tufts of grass. Alba constantly tucks unruly strands of hair behind her ear, only for a nice cool breeze to lift them up again. Oh, she's nervous, a little bit. And the sight. There's only the blue, boundless sky in front of us, as endless as the ocean around our home island. I stay silent for a moment, taking in the landscape. We watch the clouds float lazily on the blue canvas. When the light is right, the holes on the planes passing above flash at us secretively. I don't know a more beautiful place in Sky Fortress than this one.
You know?
As soon as I saw this place, I had to come here, even if it was just for a few minutes. It's breathtaking. Everything is, Walter. Sky Fortress is absolutely amazing. I'm already in love with it. It almost feels like a dream.
Eh?
Have you ever gotten used to it? To Sky Fortress? Kind of. I needed a few days. Something about looking through the window and seeing nothing but a vast ocean of blue made my head spin. I see. I don't have problems with that, but I think this is my favorite spot in the entire base.
Here.
Right here. I follow her dreamy gaze. The view from the glade is amazing. Nay, the glade itself is amazing. I understand what Alba means. I love the scent of flowers growing here and how soft the grass is. I love the wind carrying the sounds of life from Sky Fortress. It seems as if the sky meets the earth
Do you
here.
feel it?
I watch her dip her hand in the green grass. Following her gesture, I stretch my hand to touch the grass blades, which turn out to be as soft as she promised. My fingers brush the back of her hand by mistake. We both freeze. Oh, ho, ho. She blushes and looks away, and my heart races again. Only a moment passes before we realize what is happening, but it feels like eternity. We hastily withdraw our hands like scaled cats, looking at the sky. Scaled... Skull... I wonder if that's supposed to be scolded. Whatever. At the sky like there's nothing else. I completely forget about the crumpled orders in my pocket.
You know?
This place reminds me of my village so much. I mean, the view wasn't that good. But the wind, the flowery field, somehow this place has a scent of home. Oh? I was convinced you grew up in the capital. Like me. Oh no, far from it. I don't even like the capital that much. I mean, it's beautiful and everything, but I love how idyllic the crop fields feel. Idyllic. Yeah, that's right. Most people would do a lot to break free from the farmlands and live in a capital. Did the royal treatment and big world vibe fail to convince you?
Actually,
A city can be so suffocating. Being out in nature makes me feel free, a bit like the sky does. Nature. Our village was hidden among the hills. The air was so clean it would sting your chest if you breathed too deep. It feels the same here. I miss my family, though. Our house was filled with otherworldly aromas from the kitchen.
you know?
I miss the goats, too. Goats? Do you mean the legendary, incredible Lassplane grazed goats? I didn't, and even if I did, there's nothing shameful about farm work, city boy. Goats are nice if you feed them. Although they do nibble on grass, if they were set free, we wouldn't have meadows like this in the world. Hey, I didn't mean anything bad. I'm just curious, how did they find a Lassplane out in the wilderness? After all, it's not something an average girl can do. Oh, so I'm not an average girl, my pilot? Most certainly you're not. In every aspect of it. Honestly, I've spent more years away from my home than at it. I was 10 years old when they took me away. I know probably everything has changed since then, but I love my memories. I like to cling to them as they make me feel better. Can't forget the goats.
Unacceptable.
I'm not even going to comment on that for your sake, Walter. Do you have a family to get back to after all this is over? It's easy to notice how subtly she avoided telling me more about her training. The Lassplane project is shrouded in mystery, so much that even military officers like me don't know a lot about it. I understand that, in a way. Lassplanes are so strong that according to legends, one is enough to turn the tide in the greatest battle. But how can we be so sure if they haven't started or won a battle yet? I know we only have a few units involved with Lassplanes, but I don't have the exact number. I also know that it's extremely hard, and if you need special abilities to get into the program. But what abilities? How does it work? How can a human boldly harness the energy hidden inside the crystal of the light? Does Alba even remember if she was taken away from her home when she was only 10? She just said that she was taken away. What do I remember from that time? My unseeing gaze falls somewhere around her curious irises, returning to memories hidden by the fog of time. I remember our house in the capital, but it was neither happy nor warm. The city is more than beautiful, the city is more than beautiful spires reaching toward the sky, although I loved watching them as a kid. I never liked the word slums, but I assume it's the easiest way to describe our district. Oh, so we lived in the shit district. Or slums. No offense to people living in the slums now. Which doesn't mean I hated it. I only hated going back home. Too many sad memories lingered within its walls, and they disgust me even today. I prefer to focus on the present, on Alba sitting by my side, her big eyes fixed on me. I wish I could have had the same childhood as her, even if the training was hard. The way she brightens up the mere thought of home is cute. I'm glad she could live a normal life, although maybe I wouldn't miss the goats if I were her. I always thought they were mean. Yeah, I suppose. I grew up in the capital, as I said. It wasn't glamorous, but it wasn't that bad either. I much prefer this, being here, in this meadow, you know? When this is over, I'll probably travel the world. Maybe I'll visit some goats. The chill caused by the memories vanish as soon as I hear her honest, loud laughter. I could visit her village with her, see the life outside the cities. I haven't been in the country for a long time, living on military bases instead. I suspect Trosse had a similar experience. I like it here. I like her company. My heart skips a beat when I suddenly remember the orders hidden in my pocket, the sole reason I ventured out to find her in the first place. Hesitantly, I take them out and Alba looks at the paper with interest. Only after I flatten it out on my knee does she laugh again, seeing the state it's in. Wow, talk about professional, Captain. What's that? It's your official assignment. On behalf of headquarters, I would like to formally welcome you to our ranks here in Sky Fortress. The orders say I'm authorized to be your pilot. We need to schedule a test flight soon. Oh? Already? Yeah, I'm excited. Aren't you? Have you trained with a pilot before? Her energy disappears in an instant like air from a deflating balloon. My face falls. Did I say something wrong? She shrugs as if I'm sure how to answer this simple question. It reminds me of what she asked when she entered the quarters. Is it really you? As though she expected me to be someone special, although I'm not. There are hundreds of soldiers like me, dedicated, well-trained, patient, and hungry for battle. And yet something about me makes her embarrassed again. In theory, yes, I have hundreds of hours of training in my logs. I met many pilots during that time. I've been honing and mastering my skills with them for the last few years. But I can feel something's wrong. She averts her eyes, looking sideways, not at me, suddenly invested in a violet flower waving in the wind. She locks her hands together, nervously insecure. My heart races as I wait for an answer. There was always something missing that I could not find. They told me that once I found a pilot I could bond with, the odd feeling would go away. But I've never been able to do so with anyone before. Everyone expects me to be perfect, to handle everyone I work with. They wave their hands dismissively, saying I just need time. Sometimes I feel like there were claws squeezing my chest. When I think about it, I can't breathe and... Hey! I wish I could take her trembling hands, but I'm not bold enough. We've just met. The crumpled piece of paper was supposed to bring good news, but now I see how anxious she is, and I freeze. Alba seemed like the most optimistic and carefree person I've met in the base. I thought nothing could scare her. After all, I found her on the edge of a steep cliff, and she didn't mind the abyss. But now, I can see fear in her eyes. She's afraid of the burden the kingdom put on her shoulders, and the risk that she won't be able to handle it. When I think about it, it's no wonder. She's expected to be the second line of defense for the whole kingdom, while she doesn't even have a pilot who can understand her. It takes two to tango. Oh, I like that line. Her efficiency doesn't depend only on her skills. If I were her, I'd be nervous too. Actually, as I think about it, I begin to get anxious.
They told me you'd be the one, Walter.
My heart stops when she raises her sad eyes to look at me. The bottomless purple conceals a surge of emotions, and she's struggling to find the right words. The one meant for me. The best pilot the kingdom has to offer. I smile nervously. Although I'm not sure how to answer, I can take a compliment even now. Thinking about the pressure headquarters put on me, I get increasingly nervous, but I push the anxiety aside. Her face yearns for hope and inspiration, and I want to tell her it's gonna be all right. That regardless of what happens tomorrow, the two of us can face it. that I'll protect her from everything fate throws at us, from every obstacle, from each coming storm. I don't know if believe the. I don't know if I. Yeah, I don't know if believe the words I told her. Okay, so there's a typo there. I don't know if I believe the words I told her in the quarters, but I want to believe for her sake as long as it gives her peace of mind and makes her smile. Of course I'm the one for you, Alba. Just like you're the one for me, a mere pilot from this base. I put a hand on her shoulder, wanting her to look at me. She averts her eyes, staring at the violet flower again. You might be the one promised by the king to solve all our problems and protect our lands, but you're not alone. And you never will be. Not here, and not in the sky. As of today, we're a team, Miss Trosse. And win or lose, we're in this mess together. My words are supposed to cheer her up, show her she's not alone. I want to believe in them myself, although deep down, I can't really be confident they're true. I watch her face turn pink during my speech. She turns her flushed face toward me, shrugging as if she doesn't care about what I just said. I think I made her embarrassed again. It seems like it's my skill. Some people can control the light, and some throw cliche phrases around.
Oh, stop it!
Whatever you say, poster child. Her smile is a form of self-defense. She uses it when she doesn't know what to say. But it's irrelevant. I see her eyes brighten up a bit thanks to my words, and a smile finally returns to her face. The blush turns intensely red when she notices my hand on her shoulder.
All right.
She jumps to her legs with energy I haven't seen from her before. Well, let's go then. Go? Go where? If you're so sure we'll be a great fit, we might as well get this test flight over with. I'm sure that headquarters will be glad to hear everything went smoothly. I freeze, still clenching headquarters approval in my fist. I expected a test run, yeah, but it requires some preparation, too. Headquarters must have procedures. They may take a few days. But, like, what, now? Why not? You said it yourself. You're my pilot, and I'm your Lassplane. Are you sure? And what? We're just gonna go stand up and go to the hangar? Right now? She looks around, distraught. Oh, she looks pissed. Well, here is a place as good as any. No, wait a minute. I shout, raising my hands to do what? To stop her from turning into a plane here and now? I stand up, brushing the grass off my pants. Oh, excuse me. Man. Do you think headquarters will let us go right away? Oh, I'd love to go now. I notice nervousness amidst her energy reserves. Alba doesn't want to wait, but she's driven by fear instead of excitement. It's better to find out quickly if we're compatible or not. I stop a whirlwind of thoughts, giving me at least 100 reasons to wait till tomorrow. I don't want her prolonged attention, not after I just told her it's going to be alright. If I hesitate, it'd undermine my words. Alright, I'll run this through headquarters. Let's meet at the hangar in 30 minutes? Really? Great! See you there then, my pilot. I watch her turn around and leave joyfully. She takes a few steps and stops to wink at me. Don't chicken out. Why would I chicken out? HQ likes the crazy idea more than I expected. Apparently, they don't tend to waste time if they can get a job done quickly. The closer we are to the hangar, the more anxious I become. I meant what I said back there in the meadow. But actually, I have no proof. I bet other pilots are also wondering if I'm good enough for Alba. What if I'm not her pilot either? The news travels fast. I feel like at least half of Sky Fortress has been waiting for this moment ever since the last plane arrived. When I reach the hangar, several officers are already waiting, watching over the operation. The energy in the air is palpable. Blue sky and the smell of flowers in the wind stream in through an open, faraway door. I stand back and watch with others as Alba walks to the center of the room. She looks as inconspicuous as before. I only notice her chest rise when she inhales before the room is flooded with a flash. A bright light penetrates my closed eyes, making me cover them with my hand. When I manage to open them to cheer, my voice fails me and I round my mouth in wordless delight. Unlock the first image in the gallery. Oh, that's the title screen. The walls of the hangar disappear in a black emptiness cut by luminous lines. The smell of ozone lingers in the air as if I was in the heart of a storm. It's like the time and space around us vanished, and this moment was lodged in a drop between dimensions of reality. Her radiant silhouette is surrounded by strands of energy among dark clouds. The light crystal in her bracelet glints in a familiar yet strange way. It's like a supernatural force whose magical properties I can feel for the first time when I get goosebumps on the nape of my neck. Bright green ribbons coming out of the crystal envelop Alba's body, transforming it into something else, something new. Bit by bit, from the frills of her uniform to her body cells whose essence of life is changing into another force. The light soon becomes too bright for my eyes, unused to the sight, no matter how hard I try to ignore it. I regretfully close my eyelids as the scene ends in another flash of lighting. Turning into a plane now. A small storm, hidden in this bubble of time, passes, leaving behind sparkling airplane wings resembling metal, but so far from it. I now know I've never looked at Alba in the same way, and that I'll never forget it. Special attacks! This is our test flight, baby! Test flight, baby! Cold air welcomes us with the first gust of wind. Tens of hundreds of hours of training could have never prepared me for this moment. If someone asked me to describe it, I don't know if I could. This feeling is unbelievable. I feel the true scope of her power, and it seems infinite. I feel Trosse's proximity like never before. The rumbling of her thoughts flutter under my fingertips. I'm surrounded by solid hard metal, yet I can feel there's a soul inside it. I watch the gauges before me, but soulless numbers can't convey the moment. Energy strokes my body, leaving trails of goosebumps on my skin. It's as if I was next to a mighty power source, only this power is alive. 77? 93%? Done! Looks like the synchronization is complete. How you feeling about this, Alba? Actually, it's great so far. Not to toot my own horn, but I think I nailed it. Sorry. You're doing great. I'll let headquarters know we're ready.
Headquarters on the Lassplane squad! Are you ready to begin the maneuverability sync test?
I would leave it at that. I'll try my best to make sure we stay compatible. I promise I'll be gentle, my pilot. Last plane to headquarters. We're ready. Beginning the maneuverability sync test. Reach the highlighted area. So basically we're just doing tutorial. Looks like everything worked out just fine on my end. So, what do you think? Are we compatible? Surprisingly, everything is going smoothly. I see no problem so far. Gotta admit, I was prepared for much worse. Hey! That hurt.
Oh, stop it.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant my previous pilots weren't as effective. We achieved full synchronization very quickly, and from the looks of it, it's stable. It's a compliment. Take it or leave it. I'm definitely taking it. Last plane to headquarters. Everything's fine and dandy on our end.
Headquarters to the Lassplane squad! Good to hear it! We have new orders, or rather, a small request. There's some junk left by the cleaning crew next to your training zone. There's mostly old drones long out of commission, but some of them became active recently. They're messing up our comms, and well, since you're already there, take them down, would ya? Sending coordinates. Over and out.
I could have just done that, or I could have done like... So now we're taking out the trash? Well, orders are orders. Might as well check if our weaponry systems are up and running while we're at it.
Unacceptable.
What? A junkyard? What a terrible place to pick for a first date, Walter. Is it a date, Miss Trosse? A terrible one, if so. So now here's the shooter portion of the game. Look, can you see that? Get us closer to it. Oh, it didn't let me. That was weird.
Yay!
Oh, that's the icon on the desktop. What is that?
You know,
Sometimes we can salvage leftover power from our enemies to upgrade our gear. Let's put it to use. More drones up ahead. Hey, do you see that? It looks different from the rest.
alright!
Let's check it out. Whoa, why did we... It automatically did... Ow! Ah, I didn't see it coming. Are you alright?
Unacceptable!
Our Nada day is going progressively worse. Get that power up. We're gonna need it. Ah, much better. Depending on what kind of gear we'll get, it'll have a different result. Okay, I'll remember to grab everything on our way. Yay! I love gifts. Oh, I really like the banter between the two of them. Wasn't sure if that blimp was going to be anything. I feel the energy coursing through my veins. This power. I've gathered enough. Ready when you are, Walter. What? Wait, what? Just trust me. How? How am I supposed to... Grab the left trigger. Oh yeah! That was something else. That was amazing, Alba. I never used the light like that before. What? You're a natural, though. I guess we work well together, so, well, that nothing is impossible anymore. Let's get back to base. I'm hungry. Definitely. It's nearly dinner time. Finally! Lassplane squad to headquarters. We've completed our mission. Returning to Sky Fortress now. Over and out. Some power-ups bounce from the screen borders. Choose the right moment to pick them to make the best use of them. Said to be the largest country in the world. I'll take that as in whatever. I don't remember the last time I was so content after returning to the hangar. Although I assured Alba everything would be fine, I couldn't have been certain. My promises would be void if I turned out to be as incompatible as our previous pilots. And yet we were perfectly in sync on our junkyard date. However it sounds. Now, when the stress is gone, when it's all behind us, I feel relief that's hard to describe. And I'm exhausted. It was just a short synchronization test, but I feel completely drained. Anxiety consumed my energy reserves for the day. Even though it was just a quick test flight, it now feels like I fought in a battle. I deserve some relaxation. Alba slipped out from the hangar as soon as we returned. Her transformation was over before I even noticed. Poof! And she was gone. I swear, if I were to describe her in one sentence, I wouldn't be able to find the right words. now in her petite human form, she must have rushed to the quarters to prepare for dinner. I, in turn, am desperate for relaxation. I, in turn, am desperate for relaxation I can achieve only through a scalding hot bath. There are many bathhouses in Sky Fortress, perfect destinations for tired soldiers after a long day of work. I've been here for a few months, long enough to figure out which are the best. The baths near the quarters are always painfully crowded. It has its advantages. Instead of awkward silence, they're filled with the buzz of my companions' chatter. Soaked in water, they don't want to talk about work, so we chat about silly things and laugh. On some days, it's perfect, but today I'm not in the mood for crowds. I want to rest, so I head to the bathhouse in the eastern wing. Not so fast. Not so fast, my friend! It's part of unused VIP quarters for special guests. No VIP has appeared yet, so they're always empty. It's my little secret, a place that hardly anyone knows about and most certainly nobody frequents. I step inside, blissfully and covered only by a towel around the waist. Bathing is relaxing. It clears my mind and cleanses my body, and I'm ready for both. By habit, I walk inside without looking around. Uh-oh! It's my place after all, only I know about it. I haven't seen a living soul here since I arrived at Sky Fortress. Suddenly, a movement in the corner of the bathtub catches my eye. I freeze like a deer in the headlights. Who? Whoa! What are you doing here? Gallery art number 2. Yeah, we figured that. Submerged in water, Trosse turns to me, hearing my footsteps. Hidden by a blanket of foam on the water, at first she freezes as if unsure about what she's looking at, as if thinking I'm just a figment of her imagination. After all, in what kind of world would a person march inside a bathhouse she's bathing in so conspicuously? I'm not the only one having a hard time processing it. For a moment, we're both shocked, looking at each other stupidly. Hot steam conceals part of her figure. Nani? What? I open my mouth, but no words come out. Oh, she's pissed. Reason tells me to look away, but my body won't listen. I stand still like a statue, a motionless ice figure in front of her. Injuries from our close encounter with a mine are nowhere to be found on her fair skin, only droplets of water leaving wet trails on her slender body. The setting sun bathes her body in golden light, casting shadows on soft dimples. Thick fog and foamy water conceal what's not hidden under a small towel. Jeez, man. This is written very well, I'll say that. Waka waka! Even with that, I still admire each of her movements when she gets deeper, each subtle twitch of her round hip. I don't know why I'm so stunned. Bathhouses are mixed, and what's not hidden under a towel is covered by steam. It's all for nothing when my imagination provides the rest. I immediately blush. Maybe she's wondering if I got a heat stroke, standing there like a fool. A quiet thought in the back of my head makes me realize that Alba Trosse sees not only my bed, but also my favorite bathhouse. And then all my thoughts vanish when her face contorts with terror. She reddens as if water got a few more degrees hotter. I slowly realize what she realizes. Uh-oh.
Oh, you!
What the hell are you doing here? Her scream snaps me, snap back to reality, reminding me where I am. It breaks my trance, making me comprehend for how many seconds I'd been staring at her. I flinch, turning to the side as if I could give her a bit of privacy I took away with my intrusion. The ceiling has never been more interesting. I try to mutter a reply, but I feel a wave of heat reach my face. I must be red as a beet. Not good, not good at all. My God, I must have come over as the ultimate creep. I keep telling myself that I only looked at her for a moment, just a few seconds. But no amount of bargaining with myself will make my face any less red. Just an hour ago, we were up in the sky. We were one, and yet what I did now seems extremely evasive. I can hardly move from shame, which must be visible on my face, just as Alba's embarrassment is reflected by a bright red blush on her cheeks. She desperately covers herself with her hands, disappearing under foamy water until her chin touches the surface. Wait, I shouldn't be looking, but I can't help seeing her convulsive hand movements out of the corner of my eye. She looks like a fish out of water, hopelessly trying to dive back into the depths. I'm sorry. I didn't expect you here.
What?
How? It's the officer's bathhouse, after all. Oh, God, it's mixed gender. I have just as much right to be here as you do. Oh. Well, you could have warned me. You waltzed in here so quietly, I had no time to cover myself up. What was I supposed to do? Announce myself? I thought no one was here. Our discussion is pointless because technically we're both right. I'm not sure. I think that's a rubber duck or a chicken. I'm going to say it's a rubber duck. Logic tells me I didn't break any rules of mixed bathhouses. At the same time, I'm so embarrassed I'll never go inside like that again. Starting from today on, I'll loudly stomp my feet to let half the base know I'm coming. And I'll slam the door, as much as rude as it is. But what to do now? I stay still for a moment before I realize it's probably worse than pretending that nothing happened. I glance at her and force myself not to turn my eyes away. I can't help it. Her gaze petrifies me. She quickly moves to the other side of the pool and fixes her unseeing gaze on some random point in space as far as my face as possible. I hadn't even touched the water yet, but I suspect I'm red as if scalded. I rush to the edge of the pool. Hot steam unexpectedly hits my face. I love boiling hot baths, but hardly anyone shares my taste. Right now, I can waltz into hell itself and still wouldn't care at all. Nothing can beat the discomfort I created for both of us. I know I'm being unfair to myself. Running to the pool's edge, I nearly slip. Like an idiot. I hurriedly walk down the steps and submerge in the water as soon as possible. The water burns, but it hides everything, including my shame. I'm lying. I'm trying not to look in her direction by all means, aiming to avoid more embarrassment. Hey, how is Trosse even different from my squad mates? Well, apart from everything, I nervously clear my throat. Who even invented mixed bathhouses? Why didn't I care before? Sure, it was always uneasy with others, but even a quick side glance at her is enough to send my heart racing, because we love our airplane lady. She's definitely not just another squad mate. In the sky, Alba's a weapon, deadly, tough as steel, and sensitive to my every movement. As soon as the bathhouse scene ends, we're going to wrap up this hands-on episode. But the girl shrouded in steam next to me is like a contradiction of that image. I wonder if I'll ever stop being surprised by the juxtaposition. I really didn't expect you here. I just thought you were hungry and headed to the canteen.
Unacceptable.
Oh, don't remind me. Don't remind me, please. The dinner isn't ready yet. I checked. Don't get fooled. I am absolutely starving. I didn't even realize you knew this place. The bathhouse near our quarters is much bigger than this, after all. HQ told me there's a special bathhouse in the base that I can use. I heard it's for VIPs, which I presume a Lassplane is. Oh, so I'm a VIP. Wait. Do you have the right to be here, Walter? Yes? I'm your pilot, after all. Let's pretend I believe you. When the silence falls between us, only the sound of water can be heard. We're sitting on opposite sides of the pool, facing different directions. If someone came inside now, they think we don't know each other at all, and that we have nothing to say to each other. It must look ridiculous. There's plenty of space in this huge pool, but we're pushed into the opposite sides as if our lives depended on it. I'm tempted to look at her, but the thought of meeting her embarrassed eyes makes me squeeze into my corner more. My mind races, persistently trying to make up any small topic that could cut the awkwardness lingering in the room like steam. I'm not too good at small talk. Thankfully, Alba seems just as desperate for a change of subject, and it doesn't take much. So, how are you feeling now that we're back at Sky Fortress? Oh, good actually. Phenomenal even. I always miss the sky before I leave, but after a tiring mission, I think I miss the ground more. Sounds like a tiring cycle. Does it? I think it makes me appreciate both much more. Who says you have to choose one over another in every scenario? You're definitely a natural. I think you were fantastic out there. Not a bird, not just a plane, but the Alba Trosse. Oh, Alba, you gotta warn me when you're gonna talk. I wouldn't be half as good without your guidance, Walter. You can stop the humble act. What act? I simply am humble, Miss Trosse. I am a human after all. A mere mortal. Oh, hey, she just kicked my face. I'm interrupted mid-sentence when a wave of hot water floods my mouth. I didn't even notice when she turned to me, too focused on the ceiling. I choke and cough, fighting for breath while my lungs are on fire. Her rippling laughter fills the room, coming from a half-covered mouth. Even though she's blushing, she doesn't seem to regret the splash. Revenge never looks so tempting. Take the bait. I can't stop myself. I scoop the water around me, sending a small tsunami straight at Sneaky Trosse. The waves splash her face, and thousands of tiny droplets scatter around, accompanied by her screams.
Oh, you!
Walter Percival Schmittens. Oh, that's a name. How dare you? Disrespecting a Lassplane like that? Who now? Schmittens? My dad always used my full name when I messed up. I don't know yours, but I'm sure as hell don't need it. Oh. Oh, it's a terrible name, Alba. A terrible name for a terrible man like you. Hey, you started it. But now you mention it, I do see the appeal of your dad's method. Unrelated, but what's your full name? Pfft, like I would tell you. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. Fine. It's not your business. Ha! Nice to meet you, Alba, not your business, Trosse. I'm Walter, not Percival Schmittens. Aw, they're like a couple already. When I see another splash coming my way, I do my best to escape. Water enters my nose, almost drowning me despite my attempts. Fighting for my life, I see Alba stick her tongue out at me. Wait, stick her tongue at me as if she won the battle. That should be out at me. But the war is far from over yet. For your sake, I'll let it slide. So you were saying something, my dear peeking pilot? I was... Wait a minute! I wasn't peeking!
Oh, stop it!
Oh, I believe you. Very convincing. I was saying I'm glad you're feeling well. That explosion felt rough. Are you sure you're okay? It takes more than that to take me down. Besides, the light heals my body in almost an instant. I just need a power-up like the one we picked up in that trash field. Not a scratch on that body. Despite my best efforts, I glance sneakily at her while she's not looking. Whoa, dude! We're so close I can see her silhouette through the rippling water. Indeed, I don't see any bruises the mine could have left. Yeah, nice work, Walter. Her body seems spotless, almost too flawless to be true. The past left no marks on it. There are no scars from her childhood or even common birthmarks. I had no idea the light can work like that. But honestly, does anyone besides the scientists working with it know everything it's capable of? How does it feel? I mean, sorry to be so blunt. It's amazing that you can use the light, but it's a total mystery to me. Is it a magic power you somehow channel? Are you suggesting I charge up like an old battery, Walter? Unsure whether she's joking or not, I begin to sweat nervously. I mean, when you look at it like that, we're all walking batteries. Powered by food, air, water? Yeah, nice save, cowboy. It's a feeling that might be too hard to describe. Up there in the sky, the form I take seems as natural to me as this one. The light is like adrenaline, released when I need it. When you're stressed or in danger and it courses through your veins, you don't think about it, you don't produce it consciously. It just appears and the impossible becomes possible. And you gain superpowers. What we can do with the light depends not only on our skills, but also ourselves. One of my companions, a Lassplane I met in the previous base, could create beautiful art with it.
Awesome.
She would illuminate the whole quarters, cover the walls with light blue flowers. Wherever she went, she liked to surround herself with her private small forest. She compared the light to creativity, not to adrenaline. To use it, you need not only skills and discipline, but also inspiration, which can be elusive, hard to grasp. But thanks to creativity, an artist can go beyond the limits of possibility and create something from nothing. That's very poetic. I thought all Lassplanes were highly intricate weapons. I mean, we are. That's the point. We can argue that war is not just destruction. It's also art, a painful birth of artists. Poetry with words dyed by the scarlet of innocent blood. Wow, that's actually a deep way of thinking about it. But as much as a bath is a perfect place for philosophical concepts, I'm too hungry for poetical thinking.
You know?
War is a rebellion in my stomach, Walter. And I must say, my stomach craves food, and I'm prepared to shed blood to get it. At least you're... Hey! Hey! What did I do? You're nearby. Oh, that's not cool. And I get fussy when I'm hungry. Yeah, I can definitely see that. You're right. A bath is the perfect place for random pondering. The light is such a powerful advantage. You would think that it's too beautiful to be true, right? What do you mean? Think about it. An infinite power source, magical abilities with no price to pay at all? Perpetuum mobile has been impossible to achieve for a reason.
What?
What now? Are you getting pessimistic again, Walter? Where's your poster boy energy when we need it? Does it also come with a price? Aren't you running out of it? Very funny, Miss Trosse. I know you're just babbling about to hide that rumbling in your stomach. I bet the quartermaster can hear it from a mile away. What? It's almost dinner time, eh? We should probably get going if we want the best seats in the... Oh man, she took off. I never finished. The bell from the canteen tolls in the distance, announcing dinner. Alba leaps out of the water like a fish lured by bait. Swimming the pool steps like a shark, she sends a wave of water towards me that covers me whole. Unfettered, she runs outside, not even bothering to cover her body. Not that it would change anything. She's so fast I can't see anything, and I wipe my eyes from bathwater. A rubber duck I fix my eyes on during our conversation falls first in the chaos created by Trosse. Oh dear, oh dear. What if they eat all the food? What's today? What's today, Walter? What is today special? I forgot to ask. Oh, to hell with it. I'll just run. Save us a seat. I'll be there in a minute. She must be starving because she jumped out of the water like a bullet. I watch her panicked movements in stunned silence. When she disappears in the locker room, I can hear her mumbling under her breath, throwing towels and quickly getting dressed. I should get going too, if I want to be there before the crowd. But compared to her, I move like a snail. When I reach the edge of the pool, she's already shouting goodbye, running outside to the plaza, still half wet after an hour in the water. I fix myself up as I realize I'm also hungry. I put on normal civilian clothes. Dinner time is usually lax, and I can use it. I hang wet towels on a wooden wash tub, and I join the line of people heading to the canteen. Alright, that... let's see, we'll do chapter 2 instead. Chapter 1... Oh, okay, we did about an hour and 15 minutes. Let's just check the settings and everything. Okay, simple enough. Back to the menu. Yes. Alright. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Chichuki Views. If you made it this far, thumbs up, share the video, subscribe, and, do you play graphic novel games like this? And yes, I'm considering this to be graphic novel type because it basically is. So this has been Kamikaze Lassplanes. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's going to be on Switch as well. This is on Steam. I don't know. I think by the end of the year, it's going to be on Switch. I'm really having a good time with this. I really like the writing. And the voice acting is pretty good when it's there. It's not there much, but it is pretty good. So, this has been Chichuki Views. We'll see you in the next one. Laters.